All right, what's going on, beautiful people? It's the North Shore 9 post-game show powered by Permani Brothers. I'm Tyler. With me is Neil. Pirates dropped this one by a lot. 11-7?
11-7.
11-7.
Mm-hmm.
Final score. Whew.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
I'm not mad. I couldn't be bothered to care once we took the first 2 games. And I'm going to be honest, I had no trust in Bailey Falter today. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So other games, I think I'd be a little bit more mad, but tonight it's whatever. It's whatever.
You know what, Neil? I got something you should be excited about. It's Bet Online. And let's get into Bet Online. Bet Online is your number one source for NBA, NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in the game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website and get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. Neil, Pirates dropped this one 11-7. You mentioned that you can't even be bothered to be frustrated or upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a clunker. It felt like a clunker from the second that it felt like a clunker from the second last night ended.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a bad game of baseball. I know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of runs were scored, but there were so many bad defensive plays. There was some bad hitting. The pitching wasn't good. There was nothing good, quality-wise about this game. There were some individual moments I enjoyed, but no, it wasn't a good baseball game.
No, it was terrible. And truthfully, sad part is that the Pirates should have won this game because the Dodgers were handing it to them. They didn't field a baseball all day long.
Yeah. I mean, 3 errors. Probably should have been 5. I don't know how they gave Tellez a hit when the ball hit Vargas's glove. But I don't know. We probably should have won, but Ben Heller.
Dodgers did not field a baseball, man.
Well, yeah. Ben Heller decided to nuke the game for us.
Yeah. So before we get into Ben Heller here, tonight we were a little bit spoiled there, as we are not often spoiled as Pirates fans. We had a Jared Jones start, we had a Postgame start, and then we followed up with Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter has been nothing short of magnificent to this point.
Yep.
Waiting on another shoe drop here. Shoe drop today.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy who relies completely on location and for hitters to make mistakes. And the Dodgers, I cannot think of a worse matchup for the type of Bailey Falter pitching than this Dodgers team, because he kept leaving that 92-mile-an-hour fastball over the plate, and the Dodgers kept smashing it. And so, it is what it is. 4 runs, 5 or 4 innings, 5 earned runs, from your 5th starter, it's fine. It's a bump in the road, but I'm not surprised that the pitcher with bad metrics starts to regress, right? Everyone kind of knew it was going to happen. but it still sucks to watch it live.
Yeah. So Falter, he struggled today. He was, really, it's the first bad outing, like actually bad we've seen from him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned it. Everybody sees the metrics. Everyone knows that it's going to get ugly at some point. Like,
yeah.
His expected ERA was 4.73 coming into the day.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 3.22 ERA. It's not going to maintain at the level we have seen to this point. And really, I am one of the biggest Bailey Falter haters that you will find here.
Me too.
Bailey Falter had a 4.73 expected earned run average coming into the day.
Mm-hmm.
That lines up pretty well with what Rich Hill gave you last year.
Mm-hmm.
Rich Hill had a very similar ERA last year.
Yeah.
I think everyone would say Rich Hill was fine as a Pirate last year, which might actually be a little bit more complimentary of Rich Hill's performance last year. But either way, the problem is that it can't come like this. You can't get shelled and then back to that like expected number. It needs to be like a slow increase here. And I know that it's more of a static number and it's not something that's just going to come like that. That's not how numbers work. I'm aware. But everyone can see that Bailey Falter, the other part of this, as I keep saying, the shoe's going to drop here. He's not that good. I don't think he's good. 4.70 ERA, as I said, is expected numbers. To me, that's not good enough, but you can get away with it. He was bad today. And weirdly enough,
you can get away with it, but it's gonna be hard now. We now have Priester on the IL. I don't think Marco Gonzales is pitching another pitch for us as a Pirate. And Martin Perez is also, I don't know when he's supposed to come back. I haven't really heard anything. Like, you can live with it, but the pitching depth is drying up. And Domingo Herman is the next guy up.
Yeah.
And he got shelled today. And he's been getting shelled all year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, like, this is the best we could hope for from Bailey Falter. And if the thing that we have to deal with is a blow up here or there, while we get really nice starts in the interim, I'm okay with it. You know, I'm honestly okay with it. And I'm not going to rag on Bailey Falter too hard because I didn't think we'd get this much out of him in the first place.
No, I obviously didn't because I've been all aboard the get Bailey Falter the hell out of town train for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pitched like Jeff Locke did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit frustrating because to me, today felt like a very winnable game, especially Falter gives up the 4 runs, right? You somehow are able to claw your way back into this thing. And when it's 4-4 and Falter gives you 4, which at that point is almost a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give me some guy with the last name Heller that we all know he exists because he was just selected. And he just gets absolutely cranked.
Yeah. It was bad. I mean,
that's where the frustration kicks in because to me, looking at today, I would have chalked this thing up as a loss. We're going to do what we do. But when it becomes 4-4 there and you're in a winnable ball game, and they just did not give it, they didn't throw their best at him. They didn't.
I agree, but I'm just asking, who do you turn to in that situation? Like, because we can't, Holderman, Chapman, and Bednar are all unavailable. It's the top of the 5th inning. and I swear I'm not trying to turn this into a Shelton defense show. I'm really not.
No, I don't.
I don't know who you go to besides, like, unless you're going to Brehul. I actually don't even know how to pronounce his name. The guy we just signed.
Hell if I know.
Maybe you go to Nicholas, but Nicholas also isn't very
Terrible.
good. Like there aren't a whole lot of options, and there's not a whole lot to take away from today. But I agree, this was a very winnable game, and coming back from 4-4, that was awesome to watch. But what I learned is that unless something drastic happens, this bullpen is going to cost this team a chance at the playoffs because it's just not good enough.
No,
Hunter Stratton and Aroldis Chapman are some of the better arms in this bullpen, and that's not good enough. It is going to cost us a lot of. It's already cost us a lot of games, and it's going to continue to do so.
No, I don't disagree, and I'm actually not blaming Derek Shelton here because he had nothing left to throw there. Like when your GM gives you some guy with the last name Heller who is terrible, plain and simple, he's terrible. And go ahead, rewind it back to the Ryan Barucki talks I had last year where I just kept saying he's terrible too. But this guy's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Like, I burnt all my arms the last 2 days because we're playing the damn Dodgers.
Yeah.
I got nothing left. It took Paul Skeens, one of the more talented pitchers in Major League Baseball, and Jared Jones, one of the more talented pitchers in baseball. Those two guys, it took everything in the tank.
Yeah.
To get through 5 to 6 innings. And I'm left with some dude with the last name Heller.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know even to take away from Heller's start because, like, sure, you could see some nice stuff, but he was hitting batters. He was giving up nukes. It was a bad. It wasn't
a great debut.
No, it wasn't. I guess my one question is, what did Jose Hernandez do to Derek Shelton, though? That's what I got to know.
Well, I mean, he's not here anymore, but
is he? Did he get sent down? Okay,
yeah.
Because I completely missed that. I was like, I feel like Jose Hernandez, this is garbage time, right? But never mind.
Yeah, but there's
he's
people
not
in the
good
comments
either.
here.
Don't get me wrong. Like Jose Hernandez also isn't a good pitcher, but this bullpen, which was again supposed to be a strength, is really bad. And that's the main takeaway I take away from today is that we don't have the pieces to go with the starting pitching.
They don't. And in this club's defense, you do lose Barucki early. You lose Beretta early.
Yeah.
Those are two arms you're counting on. You don't expect Carmen Majinski to turn into a pumpkin like he did. Like, things did turn poorly really quickly, but at the same time, if you are struggling in the bullpen this much because Ryan Barucki, Dowry Moretta, and Carmen Majinski, all three, 2 out of 3 are hurt and one's terrible, you didn't do a good enough job.
And well, let's be honest, like all 3 of those guys you just mentioned came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
none of those guys were pounding the door for the table for in 2023. Like as a GM, you have to be able to fill the easiest part of the roster to fill out, and especially when you can find a bunch of cool starting pitching, and you're extracting this much out of Bailey Falter. Right. I don't understand why we can't find anyone to pitch a 6th or 7th inning for us. It's actually impressive. I don't get it.
Yeah. So yeah, really, this game was lost by the middle relief there. They just didn't get the job done. So there are some people here in chat that think that Falter was pulled a little bit prematurely. I disagree with that. I thought that Falter was pulled at the absolute correct time here. You're waiting on him to get just shelled. Do I want to go Heller there? No, but again, I don't know what your other options are. No. You're given 26 guys. You have to use the 26 guys you have. You can't rely on the same guys every night. Honestly, it's more poor roster construction, in my opinion, on why they lost today. And they won 2 out of 3 of the Dodgers. I'm not complaining about that, but today's game just really winnable that got passed by. Because truthfully, they just seemed like they kicked the can down the road here today and said, we're just going to take 2 out of 3 and be done.
Yeah. And I mean, they're lucky that, again, like the National League, they're still like 2 games out of a playoff spot or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the roster construction is right on the money because we've thrown away a lot of games this season because of bad roster management.
Yeah, because you have nothing
whether
left.
Like we have carried one less bullpen arm at times this season, and it's cost us games. And I think that's the frustrating thing is that this team should have been. I honestly believe this team should be like at least 3 games over 500, just based on how the starting pitching in some places the offense have played, and what roster construction has led to them being 4 games under. I think in last place now. I think we officially dropped the 5th.
I didn't look at that, but to your point about them probably the fact that they should be maybe 3 games over 5, I can't disagree with that because, and granted, there's probably games I could look back at, and at the end of the day, it probably does even out where there's games you can look back and say, they probably shouldn't have won that one, but I think it was the Tiger series that Bednar blew like a 3-run lead. Like there's games that they obviously should have won. And they just, it looked like they did not really care about today and they cared about tomorrow. Today was definitely a day where they just didn't care about today.
Yeah.
They were worried about this weekend series.
And there's some merit to that, because I was pretty satisfied from taking 2 of 3, but I'm a fan. They should be out there trying to win every single game because every single game matters. I don't care that it's only June. If you keep taking this attitude that these games don't matter, eventually we're going to get to late July and we're too far out of it. Like, I'm sorry. Like we have to go on some sort of sustained winning streak because what we're doing right now is not working. Like we're not.
Yeah. I agree. And then one more thing on the pitching. It does seem like Ortiz is going to throw here in Preuss's spot. With him not being used in 5 days or however long it's been a long time. Yeah. You would have to imagine he's going to get the start here with in Preuss's spot. I don't know who else it would be.
Yeah, because
Herman, you mentioned, but
Ashcraft pitched tonight. Herman pitched tonight. It has to be Ortiz at this point.
Yeah. So we're probably looking at a bullpen game.
I don't even think we can do a bullpen game. Like that Dodgers series, that Dodgers series taxed the entire. I don't think you can. Yeah, I think you have. I think you kind of have to let Luis Ortiz go out and die for 5 innings.
Yeah. So what day would that be? That would be Saturday or Sunday. Which one? Can't think.
Saturday.
I'd have
Keller tomorrow.
This is a great post-game show because I don't know who's scheduled this weekend. I gotta look here. I'm sure.
But yeah, you have
Keller's tomorrow.
Keller's tomorrow. This is the
so it would be Saturday. So yeah, you can't throw Herman. You can't throw Ashcraft. It's Ortiz. Like I don't know what else you have, or it's a bullpen day.
It's that.
Which Ortiz is basically a bullpen day.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Ortiz can't go that long, and it's a bullpen day no matter what.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess you hope that Mitch Keller can throw well tomorrow and save the pen here. I guess like we are 20 minutes in here, Neil.
Yeah.
We should probably talk a little bit about the offense because they did score 7 runs today.
Yeah, the offense was fine today, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
5 for 10 with runners in scoring position, 7 runs.
To be fair, that's Mainly because one guy just continues to just rake baseballs with guys and runners in scoring position. That's Nick Gonzalez. I don't know what it is about this guy this year. You put a runner on second, base hit nonstop. If he could start every single at bat with a runner on second base, this guy would hit 1,000.
He's clutch this year, and there's no doubt about it. And I was so disappointed. I don't the pitch before his home run, he hits it like it's like 10 feet foul, but it's also would have been a home run, and that's disappointing. And then he rips the very next pitch, and that was so much fun. And I was like, oh wow, we might actually win this game. No way. He's been so good.
I just love how aggressive he is early in counts here. And I do think we're starting to see the other side of that where teams are starting to adjust with him and they're not giving him so much he's not getting the first pitch meatball like we saw early on. But we're also seeing Nick Gonzalez be able to adjust to that. Where the walk rate's starting to it's a slow climb, but we're climbing up there a touch. The strikeout rate's still it's still a little higher than you'd like, but what he's doing right now is we're not beyond a small sample size, but we're beyond like a hot streak.
Yeah, I mean we're about 100 plate appearances. And he keeps mashing the ball. I mean, you would like to see him walk a little bit more, but I mean, the 315 batting average, it feels earned. Like it doesn't feel like he's cheating like his way on base. Like he is just he's seeing the ball well. And and I again, it's still not perfect, but he just looks so much more comfortable against breaking pitches.
Dude, I don't remember the last week contact he's had. Like he smokes every baseball.
Yeah, so he has a +3 run value on changeups, +2 on curveballs, and +2 on sinkers. So that is night and day from last year.
Yeah,
and of course, when pitchers give him a fastball, he also kills it. Like
my God,
he's the best part of this team right now. The best part of this offense.
My God, if Nick Gonzalez can figure it out and he continues to be this level of Nick Gonzalez that truthfully he can be because the talent's there.
Oh yeah.
If he can continue it's not going to be this pace. You can't expect him at 315.
Yeah.
If he can just be just a 3/4 of what he's given you to this point, second base is figured out. And that's been a dark black hole for a long time with this team.
Yeah, the right side of this infield is not what you want to see. But over the past, Gonzalez has been awesome.
Yeah, I love his swing. Like his swing is it's intense. He really does swing with intent. But he's also a lot more controlled right now, I think.
Yeah.
And he's hunting early. He's been able to find that fastball early in counts, but also, like you said, we saw it in the minors with him where all of a sudden he was able to hit the off-speed stuff and the breaking stuff. And I don't know who the hell did it with him, but can we please have him as a major league hitting coach as well?
Yeah. Fortunately, you might have to go back to New Mexico. You might have to hire the New Mexico State hitting coach.
I don't know who fixed him this offseason, but can we have him?
I mean, anything's better than what we have right now.
Yeah, he probably went John Nunley. And then, I mean, aside from that, offensively, the only other thing that happened was Oneil Cruz.
Oneil Cruz hitting one of the furthest baseballs I think I've ever seen leave PNC.
So we had a little group. We had, right before I jumped on here, and it's probably still happening here in the group text, we had a little Oneil Cruz discussion. Cody might have mentioned that, he's getting a little frustrated with Oneil Cruz. And I chimed in and said I agree with him. Oneil and DiNardo, completely on the other side. Don't care. They like what they've seen. Think he's on the right track, basically. I could be mistaking their words, but this is my show, and I'm going to say what I want. I'm starting to get frustrated with Oneil Cruz.
He hasn't been good enough.
He's got to be better.
I'll be the first to admit, like, this team needs him. It hasn't been. The frustrating thing is, like, you see like 2 or 3 weeks of like who we can be, and then he's kind of just disappeared for like the second half of May. But he hasn't been good enough for what we need him to be. And he's not the biggest problem on this team. Like, I want to be pretty clear. Like, but no, like, you need Oneil Cruz. He's supposed to be the superstar. He was a top 5 prospect in baseball. At some point, you got to see improvement, because I don't think he has the excuse of he's missed a year of baseball. I think he has too many games under his belt. I was willing to. I think that was legitimately what happened at the beginning of the season. Now he doesn't have that excuse.
It's June. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I mean, the sad part is that we're really only looking at a full year of games with him.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 2.5 years in, and we've had a full year of games with him, which is unfortunate, but he's 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting to the point, in my opinion, that we are close to losing the prime of Oneil Cruz, where he can continue to play shortstop. Because I don't think we're that many years off of him not being able to play shortstop anymore. I think it's questionable whether he can play shortstop right now. If they had a guy that can hit a baseball and just like at a decent clip, like if Peguero were to come up and hit the baseball and play what potentially was that defense we thought we would get at shortstop, which I don't know is there.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a guy like that, Oneil Cruz shouldn't be playing shortstop. I think we're getting to that point now where you're going to have to move him off. Not this year. I'm just saying in the next year or two. Where that prime of his career, where you're getting that value out of shortstop, isn't going to be there anymore. He's 25 already. He's got to be better.
I think he's fine at shortstop. I'll be complete. I don't really have a whole lot of issues with him at short. My frustrations with the bat. I don't think Oneil Cruz would be good in the outfield. I don't want to see him there. I'd rather him stay at short, or if you absolutely have to, move him to first, I guess. But like, no, especially with 0 shortstops in the system, like, we have nothing.
I get that.
There's and I feel like he steals more outs than. I feel like his errors outshine some of the outs he can steal. But my frustrations with the bat, like, you have got to be able to lay off some breaking pitches down to dirt, buddy. Like, I'm sorry.
That's what it all comes down to, though. He's not hitting. If you were hitting, none of this would be relevant. I wouldn't be talking about his defense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not hitting. And that's probably unfair as well. He's hitting at a major league average level. Yeah. That's not good enough.
No, it's not. Not for him. Unfortunately,
no,
it's not good enough for him.
He's got to be better. Mm-hmm. He's got to be better. If this team is going to take that step, he's got to be better. Mm-hmm. And we saw a home run tonight in an 11-4 game. Just a Jack Sawinski-like home run where nobody cares anymore. And he hits a ball almost into the river.
I thought that was into the river.
Yeah,
it was no hop. I thought that was a clean river shot. I could be wrong.
I mean, this team needs more out of him. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
This is 100%. Not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's not entirely fair to him, but like, there's no real star in this offense right now. Brian Reynolds is a really solid baseball player. Nick Gonzalez, I love what he's doing. I don't think he's going to keep this up. Solid baseball player. Like a Brian Hayes, solid baseball player. You go down the line, like you have a bunch of solid dudes. Oneil Cruz has to be that guy. Because we don't have anyone on the farm coming up. You know, I'm very low on Termarr Johnson. And there's like not a single other hitter in AA or AAA that excite me. And so I'm sorry, it comes on Cruz. When you have that freak athletic talent and that freak power, we need to see more of it.
Yeah, it's even more frustrating seeing what Ellie's doing. It's like
Ellie hasn't been that good either. Like Ellie, I know Ellie homer tonight, but
he's been a lot better than Cruz has been.
He's been about as bad as Cruz has been for the past month. It's been really bad for him.
Yeah, but like he's been a lot better. His peak has been a lot better than Cruz's peak has been.
I agree with that, yeah, but I don't like to give Reds compliments, so I'm not.
No, that's fair.
I'm not.
Well, you have anything more to add tonight? Because Pirates dropped this one, and
No.
I don't know. It's one of those like clunker, throw it away. Get back to work tomorrow.
In a vacuum, tonight was fine. You would take those losses are okay, but you got to start going on a win streak at some point.
Yeah, that's a good point because you can't have the losing stretch they had and not go on one of them hot streaks. Like 2 out of 3 is great, and winning 2 out of 3 a bunch of times will help you a ton. And you're gonna be in the playoffs, but when you go on that stretch they did, you got to run off like 6 or 7 in a row here, and they just haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, no. And so that just makes what nice starts tonight. Because again, another winnable game, even though it was like 11-4 for most of this game, it was winnable. But
yeah, maybe
Ben Heller will find some shame later on this week.
God, I hope we don't see him throw again.
I think you got no choice. We don't have any other bodies, like unless you want to go back to Ryder Ryan again. But
I might be more tempted for that. All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done. This is a clunker.
Yep.
Pirates mailed it in. Get back to work tomorrow. Pirates loses 111-7. Take 2 out of 3 of Dodgers. We're out of here. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.